There you go. There, straight away. There's your two prongs I took you to. That one's smaller and dumpy. That one's longer and pointy. This is also precarious. Sometimes it's open like that. Sometimes it's joined like that. Don't know why. No, maybe it's something to do with why this is dumpy. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling the cross is a bit iffy. So you see on the pound coin, the cross, the thin line at the bottom is longer than the other three. The other three have this a club that you see on a car game, the clubs of cards. It's got three bubbles, got one to each side and then one on top, and that's what they should look like. But that sort of stubbiness, and it's tilted. That should be tilted on the pound coin. And the reason that is used for fake is simply because of the way it's position over the reading. That's what it's for. That's what determines whether it's a fake. One of the reasons, anyway. It's one of the biggest ones, actually. If you go on Copilot and ask them how to identify a fake, that is the biggest one, the cross. And there's so many varieties of it, it's unreal. So it makes a mockery of it being so important to the fake. Anyway, we're not doing the pound coin, we're doing the penny. That stuff there is quite common on the beading. It can be all over the coin. I don't know what it is. I think it's something that reacts to the copper nickel. Because some of these are copper and some of them are copper plated, if I remember rightly. Again, the rim is an issue. You can see at the top that the rim's bottoming out, and along the top it's really thin, and you're even seeing something that you shouldn't see, which is that edge. Very common. No, I won't say it. I won't go on to that. Let's stick with the coin that you got in front here, mush. So we can see the rims going wide. Bead fade on the older coins is more prominent. I because it was more in your face. I called that more of a misstrike. Bead fade happens a lot. Sometimes they're completely missing. Blob of metal there, probably an edge knock. That's probably an edge knock. Should be doing this with my pointer. To get a good one of these with all the rivets showing clearly is quite hard. Move it around and they sort of come into view and go away. Now, what one is it? There's a version of this where there's like little boxes on here. I think it is. Oh, look. I'll tell you what you can see on that straight away. Yeah, look at that. There. That suggests that that's run of metal. In actual fact, there's bits of it there all over. Yeah, so yeah, the copper coins, I'm afraid, are not nice. as I say, this coin, this side is pretty disgusting. No, I mean, there's no hair feature, there's no ear feature with an earring. Or I know it's IRB, but again, it's suffering with this. What's it now? Suffering with this. There's a blob of metal. Whether these are blobs or knocks, I don't know. Without looking on the eyeglass, but yeah, don't tend to see any problems with the lettering. There's the 6, which is used as a 9. Um, has a bit of a bulbous end, which that it's not as round, but it is bulbous. The 6s are usually, I'm sure it's the 6s are usually got like a bead type effort on the end. And this is what I would do. I would, to sort of get you to understand what I'm saying, is I think you would have to, not only would you have to take into account what the 6s and 9s look like, you'd also have to take into account the designer, because that is going to make the difference. If the designer is altering the the coin makeup on the numerals, that's a bit sort of iffy, if you ask me. You know, that really does look like a 9, because the, oh blimey, the 1992, just see, that looks like it's flattened there. It's not round, that's flattened, and that's what it was on the 1992. But it wasn't the tail that was flattened, it was this, because it's the other way up. So other than that, uneventful, other than the rim and the poor features and the few bits of blobs of metal. Yeah. Right, let's get into these 5p's. Right, let's get this light off. Yeah, this is a light issue on this, because you're seeing that's all that white is the light off of this, off the camera, because they are little beaded, what do they call them? They call them something. Yeah, you really need, because you want to know what that is. Oh, here it comes. It's coming into view. So that's the rim bottoming out. What you see with these is what I call a corkscrew effect. It's when, this is reflecting off my pen. That's what that is. That's quite novel. Now you see here, it seems to start at the bottom of the rim. See that line? And then it rises. It doesn't do it properly on this, but what tends to happen is it rises right up to there and then stops, and it gives the, sometimes they're really long, sometimes they're short, but it looks like a screw. You know what a screw looks like when it's out of the hole, but that's what it looks like when you're looking down the hole. That's what you can see. So it's like a corkscrew effect. That's it, extremely wide. Extremely wide. Oh, that G's iffy. Look at that G. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this a double heady? That's what that's looking like. Oh, you going out of focus as soon as I let go. Let's have a look. I think it's a good try, but it's not. But that's what that is trying to be. It's trying to be a double head, but it's not. And I think that's what we got going on here with this lettering. Everything seems to be out of kilter, doubled. See, you got it there, got it on the I. Probably the B. Anything with a length, you will see it more than anything else. Anywhere else, it'd be blobs, as you can see with that G. Oh yeah, look in the D, you can see it. Yeah, this coin's been misstruck. And there you go with your dejuicing. How you come to these? See, it's all very. It just does not look right, does it? You look at any of it and it doesn't look right. It's lucky it's not a Jody. Oh, I can't. Jody. I can't think of JC. What's the J? Oh, I don't know. I've forgotten. See, that's the trouble with my mind. It just goes blank. Yeah, look at all this. This is not right. This is all misstruck. See, there's your nose. That's the double. That's how it should be. And that's what this is trying to be. It's just a poorly struck coin. I'm surprised it's as shiny as it is, to be honest. Yeah, it's just, and that's why the IRB is also near enough completely unreadable. This coin has shifted in its seat when it went for striking. Yeah, 2014. That's the common date. It's 10, 12 and 14. Really odd. Um, yeah, that's a poor coin. That really is a poor coin. So hopefully we should see good things on the other side. The rim, look, wide there, thin on top, wide and sort no, goes wide down the bottom. So the bottom half is wide, but the rim bottoms out. It's a poor coin. Amazing, really. I wonder if it's the one with the V. Yeah, it is. It's the one with the V. Oh yeah, look, you can tell. Yeah, this is the coin. It's all going on here as well. Look, the lettering's all the same as the other side. It's not clear, and that V is definitely not right. That should be indent. Is that what the word I'm thinking of? Indent, where it's like the F here. Let's get that F in there. See, that's what that V should look like. It should be quite clear. There's nothing there, but it's not. You should be able to see part of that pattern in there, and you just can't. And this is just the whole coin has suffered. So this coin shifted in strike, and you can see it again, as I say, around the tail. Um, you can see here it's risen. See what I mean? When the leg rises to the top, the coin automatically goes wide. The rim, it draws the metal in, so it makes it look like it's all one part of the rim. A really bad fault because it happens on 3 parts of the coin. Oh, look at this on this rim here. Look, Oh yeah, this coin moved when it was struck, without a shred of a doubt. Without a shred of a doubt. Even this fleur de lis looks a bit iffy. I haven't seen that before. Yeah, actually it is. This is the first time I've seen the fleur de lis in a poor condition like this. Here, this here. That's the line I was telling you about. Even that looks warped. Look, and it's here as well. Really bad coin. Really bad. And this is what I would have done. I would have made up a set of 4 or 5 of the same year, showing individual. That look at that N. It's filled in. The P usually is filled in. If it's going to be this here with the lion, is another part that suffers with rising and causing the rim to fatten out. Even that doesn't look right. What's the other side look like? Is it the same? Not too bad, that side, but this side's really thick. See, that side's really thick. If you come over there, it's not. It would have been thick if that had risen up. That would have been thick like the other side. Very poorly struck coin. You saw that in the proof set, you'd worry, I tell you. Now, I'm going to take the light right off now to get these strings. They're very hard. The pair of them are very hard. You can see them, but you really struggle with getting the light on it properly. When it's like that, this is what happens the other end. This all becomes blobbed and this moves along. So you can see all these all bits there. That should all have lines going across like this is, but even that's missing lines. That's how it should be, all these lines. That's the elbow of the harp with the 2 strings. It's said, and I've not tried this, it's said that if you put all the Michael Dent coins together, you can make a flag. I think it's the flag, or it could be the insignia of. Do you know? I don't know whether you know what I'm thinking of. It could be a shield, even what I'm thinking of. I'm seeing a shield rather than a flag. I don't know what they called it. It has got a name. It has got a name. Yeah, but this is all manky. Yeah, this coin's really suffered. Good example, very good example. Well worth keeping. Now this is the shiny one, the one in the middle, and you can tell the difference. Oh yeah, look, 2022. That's why it's shiny. Yeah, that's why it's shiny. Actually, I have not seen many of these 2020s coins. Now this is more like a washout. What you're seeing there. Normally, the washout is like this. It's a milky rush around the edge. Someone told me on eBay once, it's where the oil tries to escape and has nowhere to escape. So that's what it does. It flushes out around the edge, and then what that does, it affects all the top of the lettering and the date. Look at that. That's bad. That room's bad. Now this is a 2022 coin, and look how bad that is. That is terrible for such a lovely looking coin. Again, this is an example of where a corkscrew has not happened, but that's why it does happen. It rises from the inner here and then comes right up, and it gives that illusion of a screw. Oh, blimey, look how bad it is there. Oh, my Lord. 3-year-old coin. So this looks poorly struck as well now. Yeah, I think this is poorly struck as well. And it's a Jodie Clark. Jodie Clark. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look. This. Now, that is really unreal. Getting 2 coins exactly the same, one after the other. Especially with this being so shiny. You wouldn't think this coin was like that from the picture of the camera. Look how bad this is. Oh, it's atrocious. 3 years old. Oh, I tell you. Yeah, you can see the bits where it's tried to double, the double head. This bit's up her nose even, look. Well, how flattering is that for the Queen? Oh, for jeez sake. Yeah, this has been polystruck as well. So what year was that one? That 5p? 2014, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 2014. Um, yeah, and it's always the washout. There must be some sort of gully for it to do this, to let this XX oil run like it does. See, there's another part of a coil effect, because you've got the swelling at the bottom of the rim. You've got the rim edge, the rim as a whole. Then you've got the edge of the reading. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines there. It's like a railway line. That's what I call it, the railway line. Yeah, look at this. Wow, that is so hard. I can't believe that those coins have come out one on after the other. Oh, it'd be interesting if the other one's the same. Really amazing. It doesn't happen like that. Yeah, there's a infamous RA and RG, RE that's joined. The actual fact, well, excuse me, I'm going to go to bed early again tonight. I'll probably be up again at midnight. Even that looked like the E looked for a minute like it was joining the G. It was that bad. Yeah, the whole coin again is iffy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, what do we see over here? See, now you don't see the V in the 5 like it, do you? The writing on this side is, it's funny this side's not been affected, whereas the other side was. See, that's the 2 complete differences. You know, all this looked wrong. See, that line is dead straight now. It's very rare. It's really very rare to see that affected. But that other coin was so poorly struck, it's unreal. Metal swelling on the tail. As I say, I think it's something to do with that being curved. This can be runs of metal. In here can be runs of metal, like dots of metal. That's actually quite struck well, because it's like the back of the leg. So where the tendon of the back of the leg, as you can see on human heels normally, isn't it? You can see it. These are usually pretty rough. The tufts of hair along uh, the leg. So this is a right missing string adjuster. And again, we see it here. Look at how bitty it is. The only thing is with this one, you've got all the there's no blobby bits here. This may be down a bit. I think that should be. No, I think that's about right actually. But it does. It moves up and down depending on what happens here. This is quite common, but I've got to say, there's hardly any. I don't think there is none of these bits that have risen to the top of the rim, which is again that's pretty rare. All of it, but look at that rim here. Look, it is atrocious. But vastly different than the other coin. This side is not as affected as that other coin. I know, look, I know the light is shining, but look, you can really see the reeds. I'm doing that with my fingers, stupid ball. Look, you can see the reeds. See, look how wide that reed looks. That's a misleading thing. Let me. I just want to have a feel of this, see if it's as sharp as it should be. No. The inner part is these bits feel right. They feel sharp, but none of the rest of it. See why create a coin that is so intricate? It's set up to fail. All this, I mean, it's just set up to fail, and this is what you've got going on with Charles. With his coins, it's the KC King Charles. Oh, it is just the KC. Is it? Or is it just the C's? I can't remember how it is now. It's three C's. The three C's. Oh, King Charles III. So the three C's. Yeah, right. I got it. Yeah. So it's the C's. And it's very much like this. Very intricate. But this coin's really shiny. Really shiny. And looking at it from this end, it's a lot better. But then, see, now you see that the truth is not as good as what it was looking at it from the other angle. Look at all this. See? It's amazing. Right, now, so that's a coin you've got to keep. Let's see what this last 5p was like. Right, this is looking much better. It's just not as in good condition. I know, even it. No, look. It's happening on this as well. 3 in a trot. That is incredible. Look at that IRB. It's indescribable. Other than the eye. Oh yeah, look. Oh, that is incredible. That is totally the odds of that happening. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. The odds of that happening. Yeah, look, you got it all going on. Again, look at the edge and the rim. Yeah, another. This is not as bad, mind you. That one is. Look at that one. That one's wrong. In the 12. Yeah, definitely. So there you have a dodgy date. But 3 misstrikes causing a doubling effect is unreal. Oh, blimey. That's why I've got no feeling in my fingers. That's diabetes for you. Oh, Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, look at this. I've just thrown that on there. Look at that. It's one of those, you know it's there, but there's nothing to define it. And even the inner one, the string, is not good. And see, it comes further down. When this is not good, oh look, I've got a hair on this. This is worse than my gloves. It comes further down. I don't know why, but you can see where it should be. I mean, it might be dirt. I very much doubt it. And then see, you got all this going on here, which is a sure sign that that is not there. So let's get it in the 5 position, 5 pence. Yeah, not as bad again as the other, the first up, the first mistrike. But you have got this. This one's wide. Let's have a look at the other one. Yeah, that's thin. That's thinner than that. See, that's what I said about this line. Sometimes it's more curved. It's not prominent, and there should be 3 lines. Well, 5 lines actually. You should have the outer, the inner, the outer, the inner, and the outer and inner again. So this is not as bad, but it doesn't really show the. Oh, there you go. Look. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at all this. This is what you get normally. Oh yeah, but you probably are getting that here. That's what normally happens in here, down that leg. You see, you got bits of metal there. There, see, that's all swollen with metal. So I would include that in another one of the 5 if it was the same year, just so that you get the examples of each part of the coin that can be at fault. It's a good way. It's a good way of learning, I think. Getting a set of 5. I mean, again, with all these coins, there's so much of it around. You don't need to buy it. If you know, you're waiting for that sort of particular error, if you like. So maybe that's why people are more inclined to buy them, even though they're all prolific in their own right. Yeah, yeah. So this has got its own. All 3 are different in their own right. They're all double poorly struck, but they're all different in their own right, and that's what I think makes a good set. If you can get the 4th and 5th, that is really exceptional, especially if it's all in the same year. That is exceptional. And that's what I used to do. I used to collect all the years. I no, I'm not going to dig it out. I could show you how I did it on the envelope and the card. It's actually, you really wouldn't understand how time consuming it was doing that, listing 5 coins or 4 coins even. How listing 4 coins, it was so time consuming because you was having to repeat everything. You would think that would be easy, but you can't cut and paste because it doesn't work like that with the 5p coins. It's a pain in the butt. Yeah, fantastic, I think. it's the only coin that is fantastic in that sense. The 10p's nothing like it. The 10p has its own thing, but you couldn't make a set because there's not enough to go, the errors to go wrong or the misstrikes to go wrong. Actual fact, I don't recall seeing many misstrikes on a 10p coin. But it's it's the three dates, 10, 12 and 14. Again, why? And again, you would have to, if you really wanted to be hyper describing, you would look into it like that. You'd look into the designer, whether it's all three in the same designer, and if not, then why is it happening? What would explain it? You could write a book. You really could. I mean, I don't know how you'd get this information. I really don't know how I suppose you've got to know the designer. It's the only way, you'd have to be like a journalist and try and get an interview with the fella, and ask him. And also sit with a. And this is not cynicism. Also, to have a proof set in front of you as well, with the 5 coins that are disgusting, and ask him what he thinks of that. What his viewpoint is on that. So you see, you could really make a good book on the 5p's, because like I say, it's the same with the 10p's, 10, 12 and 14. Sometimes the 13 is different, but not on the 10p's, I don't believe. The 10s are all, the 10p's are always 10, 12, 14, and it must be the 5 that sometimes the 13 is the same. But that would most certainly indicate the same designer if they're that close together, if you ask me, in my view. And I think it'd be very interesting. I don't know whether he would be um, not to discuss that type of thing. I don't see why not. The only thing is, it just makes his raw mint look worse than what it already is. If you've got a designer, saying the same sort of thing. Because what can he say? You could ask him, why the hell did you do this? Must have taken forever to do. To scribe that out. That must have taken for flipping ever. To have it ruined by this strike. See, I can't feel that in between my fingers. Yeah. I keep getting, yeah, you've got diabetes. No, you've not got diabetes. I was with my on my diabetic review a couple of months ago, and she said to me, you're not diabetic. I said, what do you mean I'm not diabetic? She said, your blood sugar levels are perfectly well. They're perfectly good. But then I thought, well, hang on a minute. That's the trouble with diabetes, isn't it? Because your blood sugar levels alter all the time. So that's a bit sort of wrong to say that, I think. Anyway, that's digressing. So I hope I've explained that. Seeing all this lines rough. But even though they suffer, the 10 and the 5p suffer, they are very good coins. And although I can't understand it, to do all that design is phenomenal. It really is. But 3 5p coins, I know there are different dates. If you could get that in each year, I mean, that is worth money. See that when you ask then, what do error coins? What are they worth? If you're buying a set of four and they've all got in the same year and they're all individual errors, to me, that's worth a lot of money. But I never used to get a lot of money. I used to get about £1, I think it was. I used to get about £1. It's just this. I don't know. There seems to be no one out there. That's what it seems to be. Anyway, so that pound can go. That pound. That penny can go in the church bag. The 20p's. Now, I really wanted to get into this quickly. Now you see, there's your W, and I don't know what they mean. And there's the C, and sometimes that looks more like a Pac-Man. Do you know what a Pac-Man looks like? I mean, oh dear. See, and on the pound coin, that's what's in the middle, or should be in the middle. But I wouldn't call that. It's a discrepancy more than it is an error. The 20p is bigger than no, I don't know, about the same size, aren't they? When you think that this rose has really got a heck of a lot of area, whereas on the pound coin it's only got a tiny area. That's why it's not really such a big thing. You think how tiny that is on the pound coin over there. You can't really call it out. Let's have a look at the W. Yeah, see the W is lifted. If you look at the bottom and take that round in a line with everything else, the W's out. Now this is 1998. Now there's either side of one particular year the W sits properly. So I don't understand that. I thought it was 1980s, but 1998 sounds a bit far out for me. But it's all crude. It's a bit like the inscription around £2 coins. That's a much better looking T than that one. Let's have a look at the E's. Yes, the E's can be different. The top bar should be out as far as this one, like this one is. So that's like a funny E. You see this? It looks like a line, doesn't it? A diagonal line. Whereas this is not. It's straight down, and then this comes out a little bit further. But on that one, the E is retarded, rescinded. Right. So off to the other side. Did we do this? No, we didn't. And you know, I look at it. There's no there's nothing to hide this rubbish. Look at it. There's nothing to hide it. And then look, that looks more like the moon. IRB. There you go. The bottoming out. Oh, this is round two sides now. Bottoming out of this one, but it's usually at the bottom, the part. But actually, the bottom part should be under the trunk of the neck, which is there really. And I'm not seeing, oh excuse me, any bottoming out. pretty poor. Like I say, the only good thing about this coin is that it stands out. So you can't see it so much on this. But on the actual picture that I took beforehand, yeah, you can see it. That is deep, as is that. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's odd. Where's my eyeglass? It can't be a score, but it looks like a score. If it was a score, it would have gone across. Ah, maybe not. Maybe it's because that's sunk, it saved the score going across the top. What I was going to say is, under normal circumstances, if you've got a score of metal like that and it goes under what looks like going underneath, that must have been on the die. But because this is sunk intentionally, like this is, it stopped and done the same thing but for the wrong reason. That's interesting. Very interesting. So something that has done, that design has saved that from doing. Gives a completely misrepresentation. Yeah, and you can see that this is on top. This is um like this. It's high. It's high relief. That's low relief. It's a really ingenious thing because it's like two-tone, isn't it? I bet that's hard to replicate in striking. Yeah, I really should know who that is. Oh, right, the next finger course is the last finger course. I'm not sure. I am sure, but I'm not sure whether it's only on the Michael Dent later ones. But I believe it is. I think you're seeing them there at the light. Let's bring it into the light and see what we can see. No, it's too beaten up. They are there. What I pointed out is true. There. Hang on a minute. Let's get. Come on. Why are you not doing that? Come on. I don't understand why it's doing that. It's not really showing them up as well as it did at the first time, but they are there. So it is both 20p's. Just like it. Just that this one is very old. It is in a pretty poor state. But in 1998, 25, that's 27 years, isn't it? 27 years service. No, I don't know why I'm keeping it because unless I was going to do something like a competition or something where you can win it, I don't see the point of keeping it, to be honest. I suppose it does, like I explained to you, how that higher relief and lower relief works. Oh, God. Let's keep it. Now, this is the Michael Dent. Oh, let's do the rim because that's what we started off with. Finished off with the other one. there again, but it's very hard. I think that's as best you're going to get is in identifying them. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that looks like an O. 4, 5. There again. There's 2 together on it as it goes near the edge. Probably Y. Oh, blimey, look at the knot that's taken. Yeah, no, it's not very good for. Oh, there's a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's a few there, but that's not what I would want to see. I want to see it a bit like the 50p. I want to see it clearer. But this coin has been in circulation, and look, it has been in circulation. You can tell it has. The 50p's don't because they're a chunky coin. Anyway, let's get this in focus. So it's not a Jodie Clark. Nice IRB. Bottoming out again is to. Oh no, there is bottoming out there. Look, 2010. Top of the 2 has been whacked. Whether that's an edge, it's not an edge knock. It's too long, so that's an edge fold. I would say. Oh, and then I'd have to take it out of focus again. Let's have a look. Oh no, there are edge knocks. There's 2 of them, 3 of them. It's a line, so it is. See, that's another thing to take your wins out yourself. What that looks like a fold, which is most unusual, is actually 3 knocks. 1, 2, and 3, and they're split as well. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Funny looking date, isn't it? Funny looking date. But the Elizabeth, some like the T there does, and sometimes the H, they're right actually on the edge of the rim. I wouldn't like to think how many variations there are of this coin. Right, what do we want to go for? Michael Dent, lovely and clear. Absolutely lovely and clear. That's how you want to see it. All in line, see? Even though it's curved. I think that's the difference. These were more in line than curved. And W on the other coin is because it was round rather than straight there, I think. Let's have a look. No, there's no beads joined up. There are blobs of swollen around the beading. And again, see, you've got all this going on. Why I did it, I don't know. Nothing much. You see, when we was looking at this on the picture, that didn't look in line, but it is. Actual fact, it's slightly off. It is very slightly off. So that picture didn't lie. It was true. Yeah, the claw's there. Everything else is sort of in line. No real problems with metal runs or anything like that. Yeah, pretty normal coin really. So that's going in my pocket because there's nothing to do with that. Right, let's do this 50p. This will be pretty quick. Oh, 56 minutes already. Cool, I've done a lot of talking then. Right, Michael Dent, yeah, there's his initials. Sometimes they are really poor. Never seen anything wrong with the 50p wording. The rim's always the bit that's wrong. Although this one seems to be pretty fat all the way around. That's pretty good. That's unusual. Line's okay. See, if you've just got that bit and nothing else, that looks more like a penis. And I have got a coin that I could show you that's more like it. It's just the way that it's struck. Or someone has altered it in some way. Beading, swollen as per normal. The seal the strings. See how all this is. Not very good. And I think that's what you saw on that 50p in that proof set. The only thing is that's more filled in with metal. It was more like that. All the way along, it was more like that. This was like, it was completely missing. It was disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, not the best of detail. And you're looking for the blobs of metal on that and this. Oh, and probably this. You see, these are elongated diamonds. And on the 50p's, on the 1997, apparently, now I don't know whether this is true, there's a small date and a large date. Oh, there's JC, so we're going to see RA and RE. There's two different types of date size, which I find incredibly hard to believe. I've never really looked for it, to be honest, so I don't know. So you're looking at the rim really, and you're looking for the knocks. Like, there you go. You see, for the camera to pick up that gold on the edge tells me that's why you've probably got ghost reading. That's what it tells me, but it's not necessarily true because the copper coins, although that's different, isn't it? Because the copper coins would be copper, but there must be another coin that's like it that shows, probably the 5p, that shows the outside edge. That would have been fun if that was a double, but it's not. Where's the date? 2019. Yeah, I see a closed 9. Could easily be a 6. Do you know my nose? All this week, my nose, all of a sudden, just starts to run. And then it stops. Peculiar. I don't think I've got a cold. It may be I'm overtired. Yeah, nothing really to go wrong there. I think the major thing to go wrong there is the hearing. Maybe the relief around her nose and chin and the eye. Right, so let's look now. And yes, I can see them already without even... There you go. That should not be there. But I'm not going to buy a proof set just to prove that. I'm sure if you got a single proof 50p, which there are, you could do it that way to prove that. That might be worth doing. That might be well worth doing. I don't know how much you pay, but I'll have to go on eBay tonight and have a look. Yeah, it's so common with this 50p. It's the most the thing that I want to go for all the time. I'd rather go to this first and then just put the coin aside. But you'd be doing that with every 50p. Yeah, see, some of the sides are not as good as the others. And again, the way the light catches it is sometimes better. But yeah, once you've seen like that, see that there? See this as it goes over the edge is warped. But as you go over that edge, there you go, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if the pound coin is polished to a degree that you can't see that, then why aren't the 50 pences? I'm sure you could buy a proof £2 coin as well. £1 coin as well. I might have to investigate that. Might be worth doing that as a single coin. It's usually more expensive doing it that way. But the same premise. If it's not sealed in any way, you can't take it as proof. That's the problem you're going to have. So I'm going to leave you there, and I'm going to say that's the only way forward with it. But for this to be on every 50 pence piece, there's something drastically wrong. That's not a designer issue, that's something else. It's got to be the die. It has to be the die. But why? Why only on the 50p piece? You know, you could understand it on the pound coin because you've got reeded flat. So, you know, that's their excuse. That could be their excuse. That's what they could possibly say. Oh, it's why? It's like just an impression that's not struck. That's what the answer I would expect from Raw Mint, to be honest. You don't even need the magnifying glass. I can see that in the light. Just the way the light's reflecting off of it. So there you go. That's, oh no, we haven't finished yet. We've still got the pound coin. Let's have a look at the pound coin. Let's just see if it does it on this. And let's put that in a bit of focus. Not on that one really. Oh, hang on. Not really. Oh, there you have. There you have. Yeah, there you have. There you go. On this one, you have. On this edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably under there if it wasn't so scored. And to be honest, oh, because I've got that set. I've got a brilliant uncirculated. They were all in a plastic covering, and I took them all out. I'll have to look at that. We'll have to do. I might even do that later on tonight if I remember. If I don't watch a film, I should probably watch a film so I fall asleep. Yeah, look, there they are again. That's on another edge. Yeah, there again. But that's the answer they're going to come up with as an excuse. They're going to say, well, it's the impression left by the previous coin. If the previous coin was a reed edge that side, like that, that's what it's left. That's what I think their argument would be. Or, not an argument, that would be their reasoning. So I'm not even going to go into the rest of it with this coin. I know that's not fair. Let's have a look. Right, Queen's Head. The crown prong is in. Quite clearly that's in. There's nowhere near the edge. So this should be okay down here. And it's not. See, it doesn't work all the time. Look at this. Again, look at this. Looks like a bit of a doubly going on here. This is JC. Oh yeah, this is white. Oh look, you can. You can see it's risen up. That should not have happened. You shouldn't be seeing silver there on a gold. Oh blimey. God, it's all happening. Yeah, look at that. That is terrible. All round the trunk of her neck. That is terrible. That should be smooth. So then you've got this doubling going. It's incredible. It's really incredible. So there's no wonder they weren't selling. The Elizabeth is the same all the way round from the edge. Let's see if it goes out. Yes, there it goes on the DG. It starts going out. So again, that coin would give you I don't know whether I said that in the actual, on the picture side, gives you the illusion that it's oval, it's misshaped. And this is what see, now this is over exaggerated. This leak is over exaggerated. The fins, the leaf fins are over exaggerated. That should be further around and it should be higher. And I can only assume, see those little blobs? Whereas with the 20p, there was like loads of them. I can only assume that it's this. See, this is long, right? That's not, I don't know what, I think that is it. I think we've come across it. I think we've sussed it out at last. That's fat. That's thin. That's hugely fat. That looks like a pregnant fish. I think we just found the answer. So they are all affected. Now let's go to the bottom of the trunk, see what we got. Oh yeah, look, that trunk's right on the rim. That's why. Oh yeah, look, these are small. But I've got to say, on the proof sets, they do look small. They don't look so large as what I expected them to be. Yeah, this has dropped down. This has dropped down. That line is far too low. That line should be there, going across about there. About 2-3 millimeters more up. And that would make that the right size then. Let's have a look at the £1. Oh, that's the same distance, so that's good. Nothing wrong there. Yes, so I think we found, but I do believe I've said that before. I don't think you could actually call that a strike, but yes, you can, because you can see it here. You can see it. It's like the £2 effect. Yeah, and that, look, as you turn that round, look how elongated that leaf gets. Yeah, if you turn it back, it sort of looks small. It's funny, isn't it? That looks like a fake. This is one of the things that's determined as to make it a fake. You don't see the crisscross pattern going across here so much, and these two that look like double reeds, they should come up. In actual fact, sometimes there's more. There's actually 2 or 3 of them. Yeah. Let's have a look at that rim. Look, oh, look how atrocious that is. And that's what I can't believe. That is a separate piece. That little line there is a separate piece of metal that gets. I don't know how they do it. They can't stick it. Maybe it's just an engraving thing that piece of paper was showing. Not seen a perfect date. Nope. No real perfect date on there, so let's have a look. I would imagine it's 20. Oh, hang on, was it a 2016? Did we look at the date? Yeah, because we did the thing, didn't we? Yeah. So what's the date? 2016. Yeah. See, look how thin that towel is. How do you? What do you think the chances are of that disappearing? It's so thin, it's unreal. Yeah. Yeah, this is all bold. Look at the difference in size. And you can make it out sort of a bit better. £2, £1, £2, £1. I think it's 24 times that appears around the edge. Let's have a look at the Elizabeth. Yeah, all the same thing. Oh yeah, because we did that, didn't we? Yeah. Right, that's it then. There you go. You could keep that. That's your lot. By the way.